Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. This episode was mixed. Um, they did the whole baby shower thing with Mariah and Tess, said a couple of nice words. It kind of fell on deaf ears for me. And it's mostly because we don't really get to see them, you know? We don't really get to see them. We see them here, we see them there. They come in, they say a couple of things, but they don't really get a good story. They don't even really get a story. I mean, this whole baby thing that they did, the majority of it happened off screen. So there's not really a lot of emotions, there's not really a lot of attachment to these characters in this wonderful gift for them not to sit there and say bringing this new life into the world, but just making this baby part of the family. It just it's lacking a lot of depth because we didn't get to see most of the stuff again, like I said, happen off screen. So of course you got Noah there, you got Abby, obviously Tess Mariah. You have Elena there, and even Kyle stopped by for a little bit. Didn't really matter. Um, Kyle and Billy had this weird argument about the business side of Marchetti and Jabot, and Billy wants to sit there and combine the companies, and Kyle was just like, "I'm not with it. I don't care what you got to say. Your ideas sound pretty stupid." And then towards the end, he was just like, "Thank you for distracting me with your stupid business ideas." So I'm like, wait, you're telling me this whole thing, this whole plan that you had going on was just to distract him? That was it? I mean, he even says to Chelsea afterwards, yeah, I had an argument or whatever, but I kind of cooled down or whatever. And, I didn't really sit there and take it so seriously. So I'm like, I don't even know what to make of that scene. It kind of seemed like it was just more of a waste of time, especially if he wasn't really too serious about it. Um, Diane tells Jack to not come and visit because, if she's going to get through this, she needs to sit there and make sure that she as detached from the situation as possible and not sit there seeing their faces, not reminding herself of what she's missing out on. And Jack is like, he's not with it. But eventually she just, decides to go back to her cell. Jack throws a chair. I've seen better scenes with him throwing a chair. So it was, I don't know. They don't have the budget, so to really break anything. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, you got Chance and Christina that they're talking about, Diane and her situation and how Jeremy involved and trying to connect the two. And of course, Michael Baldwin is just like, so what's going on? And long story short, Christina is just like, she wants her to plead guilty. And I'm like, why would you want her to plead guilty to a crime that she didn't commit? I mean, I understand that, she had a track record to uphold, and she's all like, oh, the evidence says this, the evidence says that. It's like, you just want every person to come in there and just sit there and plead guilty. Even if they're innocent, they just plead guilty. So they go back and forth, go back and forth. It doesn't really go anywhere. Jack comes in there, and Jack is like, I want her, um, I want bail for her. I don't care what you gotta do. I don't care how much money you gotta sit there and spend on this whole thing. I want bail for her. I want her out, and I want her out today because he's looking at the situation. He's like, Diane is not there giving up hope. She's giving up hope, and I'm not with it. I am not with it. She was like, I don't care if it's 1 million, 5 million. I will pay for this cop's salary. Get it done. I'm like, that's the Jack that takes action. That's the no prisoners Jack that I've seen before. So it's nice to sit there and see the beast we reawaken. Chelsea came in there to hang out with Billy and catch up. That was about it. He just she was talking about the gaming platform and how it was stalled. it's been stalled because of the whole the Phyllis death and everything, and he talking about his dad Jabbar. Kind of a pointless conversation. Um, I think that's pretty much about it. Now, the one thing I did found really funny, right? They talk about, oh, next week on Y&R, Young and the Restless. And of course, you see Phyllis just kind of just standing there hanging out with Summer, and someone's like, oh, are you alive? Are you real? And I'm just looking at this whole thing. I'm like, I get that they didn't want to draw this out, but I felt like they kind of drew themselves into a corner to some extent because they're not going to sit there and let Michelle Stanford go. Um, Unless she was going to, what I'm saying? Like, this isn't like Diane when, the actress just left and she was just gone. She was just gone. So he just faked her death for all these years because she was gone. But we know that Michelle Stafford or whatever is still on the show, so it's like, what are they exactly gonna do? There's not really a lot of room that they can really put Phyllis in. Or she's just gonna be hanging out at hotels and stuff like that. Like, come on, at some point she's going to have to reunite back with one of her family members, unless you're just gonna have the actress gone. So seeing her just made me laugh because I'm just like, this in so many ways was just very piss poor, and you can see it. You can see it. I love it. Um, I love it. The hell are they doing? That is my damn question. What are they doing? um, all in all, this was a so-so episode. Wasn't super great. Wasn't super terrible. Kind of just like, you know, in the middle, I suppose. Now, again, we see Tess and Mariah in this episode. They're throwing the baby shower and everything. And then we're probably not going to sit there and see them for like maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. Like, it's so very difficult to sit there and invest in these characters when we don't see them enough. It's like on General Hospital when you have Molly and TJ talking about they're going to try to have a baby. And I'm like, man, that sounds so great. Oh, wait, we don't really see that much. Why should I care? It's the same thing with Mariah and Tess. We don't really get to see them that much. So it's like, I know that, here's the thing, I know that there's people that love Mariah and Tess, they're Taraya fans and everything like that, but it's like, what are you exactly getting? What is the Taraya fans actually getting? Breadcrumbs? At best? It's the only thing I can sit there and say that they're getting. And it's kind of a shame. It's also kind of insulting and probably a lot of other adjectives, but insulting is one that I can sit there and think of. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. As usual, if I miss anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be live streaming for an hour. Be talking about Y&R, B&B, Days, and GH. Like I do every night. On the weekends as well. Weekends, well, weekends is for members only. But that's on Saturday. Now on Sunday, depending on how things go, I might have a collab that may be happening. But I will sit there and keep people posted. I will be posting my community tab if that's going to go through. I'm not going to sit there and say who. I'm going to sit there and keep you as a surprise. But, as my friend James always sits there and says, stay tuned. So with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. And I will see you in the next video.